I'm shaking as I type this because I still can't believe what happened and how close I came to dying because my doctor decided his anniversary dinner was more important than my life. And the worst part? When I found out the real reason he refused to help me, it made everything so much more twisted and painful than I ever could have imagined. My name is Sarah and I'm 28 years old. I have a condition called Addison's disease, which means my adrenal glands don't produce enough cortisol. Without my medication, hydrocortisone, my body literally can't handle stress. A bad flu, a minor injury, even extreme emotional distress can send me into what's called an adrenal crisis. My blood pressure drops, I go into shock, and if I don't get emergency steroids, I can die. It's not dramatic, it's just reality. I've worn a medical alert bracelet since I was 19, and I'm obsessive about never running out of my medication. My doctor, Dr. Richard Brennan, has been managing my condition for 3 years. He's well respected, works at one of the best endocrinology practices in the city, always seemed professional and competent. His wife is also a doctor, Dr. Lisa Brennan, a cardiologist at the same hospital system. Everyone talked about them like they were this medical power couple, the kind of doctors who really cared about their patients. 3 weeks ago, I realized I was running low on my hydrocortisone. I had maybe 5 days left, which isn't an emergency yet, but definitely needed addressing. I called Dr. Brennan's office on a Monday morning to request a refill. The receptionist, Kelly, answered. Dr. Brennan's office, how can I help you? Hi, this is Sarah Chen. I need a refill on my hydrocortisone prescription. I'm running low, and my next scheduled appointment isn't for another month. Let me check your chart. Okay, I see you're due for a refill. I'll send the message to Dr. Brennan, and he'll call it into your pharmacy today. Thank you so much. That was Monday. By Wednesday, nothing had been called in. I checked with my pharmacy 3 times. I called the doctor's office again. Hi Kelly, it's Sarah Chen again. I called Monday about my hydrocortisone refill, and it still hasn't been sent to the pharmacy. I'm down to 3 days of medication. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me check. Yes, I see my message here, but Dr. Brennan hasn't responded yet. He's been really busy this week. Let me flag it as urgent. Kelly, this isn't like a regular medication. If I run out, I could go into adrenal crisis. It's life-threatening. I understand, Sarah. I'll make sure he sees this right away. Thursday came. Still nothing. I called again, trying not to panic. Kelly, I still don't have my refill. I have 2 days of medication left. Can I please speak to Dr. Brennan directly? He's with patients all day, but I promise I'll get this handled. Let me try texting him directly. Thank you. I really need this today. Friday morning, still nothing. I was down to my last day of pills. I called the office as soon as they opened at 8 a.m. Kelly, I'm begging you. I have 1 day of medication left. I need to speak to Dr. Brennan right now. Sarah, I'm so sorry. Dr. Brennan called in sick today. But Dr. Martinez is covering for him. Let me see if she can authorize your refill. Yes, please, anything. I waited on hold for 15 minutes. Kelly came back on the line. Dr. Martinez says she's not comfortable prescribing for a patient she's never seen, especially with Addison's disease. She recommends you come in for an urgent appointment, or go to urgent care, to get a bridge prescription, until Dr. Brennan is back. My heart was pounding. When will Dr. Brennan be back? He's scheduled to return Monday. Kelly, it's Friday morning. I'll be out of medication by tomorrow. I can't wait until Monday. I know, I'm so sorry. The urgent care on 5th Street is really good, they should be able to help you. I hung up and immediately called the urgent care. They couldn't see me until 2 p.m. Fine. I'd go, get a few days' worth of medication to bridge me until Dr. Brennan could call in my regular prescription. At 1:30 p.m., just as I was getting ready to leave for urgent care, my phone rang. Dr. Brennan's office. Sarah. It's Dr. Brennan. Relief flooded through me. Dr. Brennan, thank God. I've been trying to reach you all week. I'm almost out of hydrocortisone, Anne. Yes, I saw Kelly's messages. I'm actually calling from home. I'm not sick. I took a personal day. It's my 15th wedding anniversary, and my wife and I have dinner reservations at 7. But I wanted to check in about your refill situation. I need my prescription called in. I'm down to my last dose. Right? The thing is, Sarah, I can't just call in a controlled substance without seeing you first. My stomach dropped. Dr. Brennan, hydrocortisone isn't a controlled substance. You've called it in for me dozens of times. I know, but I've been reviewing my prescribing practices. And I think it's better to have patients come in for an appointment before refills. It's safer for everyone. Dr. Brennan, I have Addison's disease. I can't just stop taking this medication. And you're scheduled out for weeks. Kelly said my next appointment isn't for another month. I understand your concern, but I have to follow protocol. Come in Monday morning, first thing. I'll make sure Kelly gets you in. Monday. I'll be out of medication tomorrow. Then go to urgent care. They can give you a few days' worth. I was about to do that, but if you're available to call it in right now, why would I need to? Sarah, I'm not available. I'm spending the day with my wife. It's our anniversary. I'm sure you understand that doctors have personal lives too. I felt like I'd been slapped. Dr. Brennan, I'm not asking you to come into the office. I'm asking you to spend 2 minutes calling in a prescription that I need to not die. The urgent care will handle it. I have to go, my wife and I are heading to the spa before dinner. I'll see you Monday. He hung up. I sat there staring at my phone, shaking with anger and fear. He was home. He was available. He could have called in my prescription in the time it took to have that conversation. But he chose not to because it was his anniversary. I went to urgent care. Waited 2 hours to be seen. The doctor there, a kind woman named Dr. Patel, looked at my medical history and frowned. Your regular doctor wouldn't call this in. He said he couldn't because it's his anniversary. Her eyebrows shot up. He said that. He said he was spending the day with his wife and couldn't be bothered. That's highly irregular. Hydrocortisone for Addison's isn't something you play around with. She wrote me a prescription for a 7-day supply. This should bridge you until you can see your regular doctor. But Sarah, you might want to consider finding a new endocrinologist. I took the prescription to the pharmacy. They said it would be ready in an hour. I went home, took my last pill, and waited. At 6 p.m., the pharmacy called. Hi Sarah, there's an issue with your prescription. Your insurance is requiring prior authorization for hydrocortisone. Without it, the 7-day supply will cost $340. What? I've been on this medication for years, why would they suddenly need authorization? I'm not sure. Sometimes it happens with urgent care prescriptions. You'll need to have the prescribing doctor call your insurance company. I called urgent care. They were closed. Their voicemail said to call back Monday, or go to the ER for emergencies. I called my insurance company. Got bounced around to 4 different people. Finally got someone who said, the prior authorization was triggered because this is a different doctor than your regular prescriber. Dr. Brennan's office needs to confirm the prescription is medically necessary. Dr. Brennan's office is closed. It's Friday evening. Then the authorization won't process until Monday at the earliest. I hung up and burst into tears. I didn't have $340. I'd just paid my rent and my car insurance, and I had maybe $200 in my checking account until my next paycheck. I called Dr. Brennan's office. Got the after-hours answering service. This is a medical emergency. I need Dr. Brennan to call me back immediately. What's the nature of your emergency? I explained the whole situation, the refill, the urgent care, the insurance issue. I'll page Dr. Brennan and have him call you. I waited. And waited. 2 hours passed. My phone finally rang at 8:30 p.m. Sarah, this is Dr. Brennan. I got your page. Thank God. Dr. Brennan, I need you to call my insurance company and approve the prior authorization for the urgent care prescription. They won't fill it without your approval. Sarah, I'm at dinner. It's my anniversary. I'm not calling insurance companies on my personal time. Dr. Brennan, I'm out of medication. If I don't get this filled tonight, I won't have anything tomorrow. You know what that means for someone with Addison's disease. You're being dramatic. You'll be fine for one day. Come into the office Monday. I won't be fine for one day. If I'm exposed to any stress, any illness, anything that requires cortisol, I could go into crisis. Then go to the emergency room if you're that concerned. Now I really need to go, my wife is waiting for me. Dr. Brennan, please. He hung up on me. I sat on my bathroom floor and sobbed. I was terrified. Genuinely, bone-deep terrified. I'd been in adrenal crisis once before, when I was 21 and had the flu. It was the most horrific experience of my life, extreme weakness, vomiting, confusion, my blood pressure dropping so low I nearly passed out. I'd ended up in the ICU for 3 days. And now my doctor, the person responsible for keeping me alive, had decided his anniversary dinner was more important than preventing that from happening again. I tried to be careful that weekend. I stayed home, avoided stress, didn't exercise, barely moved. Saturday was okay. I felt a little off but manageable. Sunday morning, I woke up feeling worse, weak, dizzy, nauseous. But I told myself it was anxiety. I just needed to make it to Monday. Sunday afternoon, everything fell apart. My sister Emma called. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. Sarah, I need you. Please, I need you right now. What's wrong? It's Jake. He's been cheating on me. I found messages on his phone and I confronted him and he said, she broke down completely. Jake was her husband of 4 years. They'd been trying for a baby for the past year. I loved them together. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Where are you? I asked. At home. He left. He just packed a bag and left and I don't know what to do. I'm coming over. You don't have to. I'm coming. I should have stayed home. I knew it even as I grabbed my keys. But Emma needed me, and I couldn't let her deal with this alone. I drove the 20 minutes to her apartment. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. I felt weak, disoriented. When I got to her building, I had to sit in the car for a few minutes because my vision was getting spotty. By the time I made it upstairs to her apartment, I was in serious trouble. Emma opened the door, her face red and swollen from crying, and took one look at me. Sarah, you look terrible. Are you okay? I think I'm going into crisis. What? Oh my God, where's your emergency injection? I carried an emergency injection kit of hydrocortisone for situations exactly like this. I'd had it for years and never needed to use it. I reached for my bag and realized with absolute horror that I'd forgotten it. In my panic about Emma, I'd rushed out without checking. I don't have it. What do you mean you don't have it? I left it at home. You need to call 911. She grabbed her phone immediately. While she called, I felt my legs give out. I slid down the wall in her hallway, everything spinning. The ambulance came. I remember the EMTs asking me questions, remember Emma crying and explaining about my Addison's disease, remember being lifted onto the stretcher. Then things get fuzzy. I woke up in the ER hours later. A doctor I didn't recognize was standing over me. "Sarah, can you hear me?" "Yeah," I whispered. "You were in severe adrenal crisis. Your blood pressure was 70/40 when you came in. We've given you 4 hydrocortisone and fluids. You're going to be okay, but you gave your sister quite a scare." Emma was in the corner of the room, looking absolutely wrecked. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "I shouldn't have called you, I shouldn't have." "Not your fault," I managed. The ER doctor pulled up a chair. "Sarah, I need to understand something. You have Addison's disease. Why weren't you taking your medication?" I ran out. My doctor wouldn't refill it. He looked stunned. He wouldn't refill it. Why? He said he was too busy. It was his anniversary. The doctor's expression turned to stone. "Your endocrinologist refused to refill hydrocortisone because of a personal engagement." "Yes. That's medical negligence. That's beyond negligent, that's dangerous." "Who's your doctor?" "Dr. Richard Brennan." Something flickered across his face. "At Metropolitan Endocrine." "Yes." He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I'm going to document all of this very carefully. What you've described is a serious breach of the standard of care. You could have died." I spent Sunday night and Monday morning in the hospital. They kept me for observation, made sure my electrolytes stabilized, sent me home with a new prescription for hydrocortisone that they filled at the hospital pharmacy. When I got home Monday afternoon, there was a bill in my mail from Dr. Brennan's office. A bill for $150 for a missed appointment. I stared at it, not comprehending. I hadn't had an appointment. Then I saw the date, Friday, the day he'd called me from home while he was supposed to be sick. He'd scheduled me for an appointment I knew nothing about, and was now charging me a no-show fee. That's when something in me snapped. I'd almost died. I'd spent the night in the hospital. And he was billing me $150 for an appointment he'd never told me about, while he was at dinner celebrating his anniversary. I called Kelly at the office. "Hi Sarah. How are you? Dr. Brennan said you were coming in this morning, but you didn't show." "Kelly, I was in the hospital. I went into adrenal crisis because Dr. Brennan refused to refill my medication." Shocked silence. "You were in the hospital?" "Yes. And now he's billing me for a missed appointment that no one ever told me about." "Oh my God, Sarah, I'm so sorry. I didn't know, let me get Dr. Brennan." "Don't bother. I'm reporting him to the medical board. And I'm finding a new doctor." I hung up and immediately started documenting everything. I wrote down every phone call, every conversation, saved every voicemail from the answering service. I requested my medical records from the ER. They sent them the same day, including the ER doctor's notes that specifically mentioned patient's endocrinologist refused to refill life-sustaining medication due to personal engagement. I filed a complaint with the state medical board. Detailed complaint. Pages long. Attached all the documentation, the ER records, the billing statement for the fake missed appointment, phone logs showing when I'd called his office. Then I did something I probably shouldn't have done. I looked up Dr. Brennan's wife on social media. Dr. Lisa Brennan, cardiologist. Her Instagram was public. And there it was. A post from Friday night. A photo of her and Dr. Brennan at an expensive-looking restaurant, her showing off a diamond bracelet, the caption, 15 years with my love. He surprised me with a spa day and the most perfect anniversary dinner. So grateful for this incredible man who always puts me first. Heavy black heart hash. I stared at that post for a long time. At her smile. At his arm around her. At the timestamp, 7:43 p.m., right around when I was on my bathroom floor crying because I couldn't get my medication. He always puts me first. I screenshot it. Added it to my medical board complaint. 2 days later, Dr. Brennan's office called. Not Kelly, Dr. Brennan himself. Sarah, we need to talk. I don't think we do. I received notice that you filed a complaint with the medical board. That's a serious action that could impact my career. You refused to refill my life-saving medication because you wanted to take your wife to dinner. I almost died. That should impact your career. I didn't refuse. I told you to go to urgent care. And when urgent care couldn't fill it because insurance needed your approval, I called you at dinner, and you said you wouldn't help because it was your anniversary. I don't remember saying that. I'm sure the answering service has recordings of our calls. Should I subpoena them? Silence. Sarah, I think there's been a misunderstanding. There's no misunderstanding. You decided your personal life was more important than my medical needs. And then you billed me for an appointment you never scheduled. That's not a misunderstanding. That's malpractice. I'm willing to waive that bill. I don't want the bill waived. I want you to face consequences for what you did. You're being vindictive. I'm being a patient who deserves basic care. You took an oath to do no harm. You harmed me. He hung up on me. 3 weeks later, I got a call from the medical board. They were opening a formal investigation into Dr. Brennan. They wanted to interview me, review all my documentation, and speak to the ER doctor who'd treated me. I gave them everything. Emails, phone logs, the ER records, screenshots of his wife's Instagram post, everything. The investigator, a woman named Margaret, was thorough and professional. Miss Chen, I want you to know that what Dr. Brennan did is not typical. Most physicians understand that patients with Addison's disease require consistent access to their medication. His refusal to prescribe, particularly when he was available to do so, represents a significant deviation from the standard of care. Will anything actually happen to him? I asked. Or is this just paperwork? I can't speak to outcomes before the investigation concludes, but I can tell you we take these complaints seriously. Especially when they involve life-threatening situations. A month after that, I got another call. This time from Emma. Sarah, you need to sit down for this. What now? You know Dr. Brennan's wife. Dr. Lisa Brennan. Yeah. She called me. I don't know how she got my number, but she called me. My stomach dropped. What did she want? She wanted to talk to you. She said she found out about what happened, about the medication refusal and the medical board complaint. She said she needed to talk to you in person. Why would she want to talk to me? She wouldn't say. But Sarah, she was crying. She sounded desperate. Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet Dr. Lisa Brennan at a coffee shop the next day. She looked different from her Instagram photos. Older. Tired. She wasn't wearing her wedding ring. Thank you for meeting me, she said quietly. I know you don't owe me anything. What do you want? She took a shaky breath. I want to apologize. For my husband. For what he did to you. You're not responsible for his choices. No. But I need you to know the truth about that day. About our anniversary. I waited. Richard told me he took the day off to spend with me. He said he'd cleared his schedule, that we were going to have the perfect day together. The spa, dinner, everything. I was so happy. He's been working so much late. I felt like I barely saw him. She looked down at her coffee cup. But he was on his phone all day. All day. Texting someone, taking calls in the other room. I confronted him at the spa and he said it was work stuff, emergencies he couldn't ignore. Okay. When we got to dinner, he got another call. He stepped outside to take it. I heard him through the window. I heard him tell someone he was busy, it was his anniversary, they needed to figure it out themselves. When he came back, I asked who it was. He said just a patient being dramatic about a prescription refill. I felt cold. He called you dramatic to his wife while you were trying to get life-saving medication. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I didn't know. I didn't know it was serious. I didn't know you had Addison's disease or that the medication was critical. He made it sound like you were being demanding about something trivial. If I'd known. You would have what? Made him call it in. Yes? Of course yes. Sarah, I'm a cardiologist. I understand critical medications. If I'd known he was refusing to prescribe hydrocortisone to someone with Addison's, I would have been horrified. She wiped her eyes. When the medical board contacted him, he told me it was a misunderstanding. But I looked into it. I got your complaint from his lawyer's files. I read everything. You went through his legal files. We're getting divorced. He's been cheating on me for 2 years. She laughed bitterly. That perfect anniversary. He was texting his girlfriend the whole day. She works at his office. Kelly, the receptionist. My jaw dropped. Kelly. Kelly. They've been having an affair since she started working there. He wasn't too busy to call in your prescription that day, Sarah. He just didn't want to be interrupted during his performance of being the perfect husband. And later, at dinner, when you called begging for help. He stepped outside to reject your call so I wouldn't overhear and ask questions. I couldn't speak. I filed for divorce 2 weeks ago. And I submitted a statement to the medical board supporting your complaint. I told them exactly what happened that day, what he said to me, how he described you. I gave them the texts between him and Kelly showing that he was available, but chose not to help you. Why are you doing this? Because I'm a doctor too. And what he did is unforgivable. You trusted him with your life, and he betrayed that trust because he was too busy protecting his lies to me. She reached across the table and took my hand. I am so sorry. For what he did. For what I didn't know. For all of it. We sat there for a long time, 2 women destroyed by the same man in different ways. The medical board's investigation took 4 months. Last week, I got the results. Dr. Richard Brennan has been placed on probation for 2 years. He's required to complete ethics training, his prescribing practices are being monitored, and he has to inform all new patients about the disciplinary action. It's not a license revocation, but it's public record. Anyone looking him up will see what he did. The billing for the fake missed appointment was dismissed and Dr. Brennan was fined for fraudulent billing practices. And Kelly? She was fired when the affair came to light. Turns out she'd been falsifying time cards and stealing office supplies too. The whole practice had been covering for Dr. Brennan's negligence and misconduct. I found a new endocrinologist. Dr. Sarah Park is incredible. She called me personally after my first appointment to make sure I understood how to reach her after hours, gave me her cell phone number for emergencies, and helped me set up automatic prescription refills so I never run low again. Lisa Brennan and I meet for coffee sometimes. We've become unlikely friends, bonded by trauma and survival. She told me Richard tried to blame the medical board action on me, said I'd ruined his career because I was sensitive, and overreacted. You didn't overreact, Lisa said firmly. You nearly died because my ex-husband cared more about maintaining his image than saving your life. That's not overreacting. That's appropriate responding. Emma is doing better too. She divorced Jake. Turns out he'd been cheating with someone from his work too. We joke darkly that betrayal runs in similar patterns. She's in therapy, healing, learning to trust again. And me? I'm alive. That's not nothing. I'm alive because I fought for myself when someone who should have protected me chose not to. I'm alive because I documented everything and refused to let him get away with it. I'm alive because other people, the ER doctor, the medical board investigator, even Lisa, saw what happened and decided it mattered. Some people have told me I went too far. That reporting him to the medical board was vindictive, that he just made a mistake, that I should have been more forgiving. To those people I say, I was on the floor of an emergency room with a blood pressure of 70/40 because my doctor decided his anniversary dinner was more important than my life. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. And when someone chooses their convenience over your survival, you don't owe them forgiveness. You owe them accountability. Dr. Richard Brennan taught me that doctors aren't gods. They are people, and some people are selfish, negligent, and willing to let you die rather than be inconvenienced. But he also taught me something else. I'm strong enough to fight back. To demand better. To refuse to accept that's just how it is. I have Addison's disease. It's a serious condition that requires serious care. And I deserve a doctor who understands that, who treats my life as if it matters, because it does. I'm writing this because I want other people to know, if your doctor fails you, you have options. You can file complaints. You can demand accountability. You can find better care. You don't have to settle for someone who sees you as an inconvenience. You deserve better. I deserved better. And now I have better. Dr. Brennan still practices, but under scrutiny. His reputation is damaged. His marriage is over. His affair is public knowledge. And I'm alive, with a doctor who actually cares, with friends who showed up when it mattered, with the knowledge that I stood up for myself when it counted most. That's enough. That's more than enough. That's everything.